All right, guys, this is kind of old news at this point, but I do want to touch on this because it is a good jumping off point for this new information we're seeing about Concord. But yesterday there was this report that Rocksteady was hit by layoffs after Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, basically underperformed miserably. Of course, one staff member was even made redundant while on paternity leave. Not a good look for Rocksteady at all. I mean, again, I understand that cuts had to be made, but letting somebody go who's on paternity leave, definitely kind of a scummy move. But again, they cut the Q&A department by half, taking it from 33 team members to 15, with poor sales of Suicide Squad directly cited as a reason for its, quote, restructuring. And again, there's a lot of things you can point to this game. We talked about in the live stream last night that there are so many issues that this game had that just pointed it, it just nosedived from launch. Again, it had a terrible launch being a live service game, a buggy mess. They had to take it down offline for like an hour when the game first came out. People were not impressed with the storylines. They weren't impressed with the gameplay. There's a lot of issues this game had. But of course, the media, Forbes, and everybody else are trying to run with the narrative that it was simply the live service aspect of the game. It was poor mismanagement and had nothing to do with the involvement of Sweet Baby Inc. or the DEI characters that were crammed into it, like the Joker or Mrs. Freeze, or the idea to take Harley Quinn and make her completely unflattering, take away all of her feminine wiles and her sexuality, and basically downplay it to where she's just another boring NPC type character. But again, this is not shocking. Rocksteady is one of these studios who has gone all in on the agenda, the message, the DEI belief system, the ideology, and learning the law points out here that experts like the fake Jason Schreier, again known for attacking George Kamatani from Vanillaware without reason, claim that Rocksteady's downfall has nothing to do with ideology. Okay, I guess let's take a look at their offices. And you can see this post back from June talking about their Pride 2024 celebrations over at Rocksteady. And it just looks like rainbow unicorn vomit thrown up everywhere all over the offices. And this is the same crap that we've seen time and time again with these woke companies, these guys who are chasing those ESG bucks, who just basically buy in, hook, line, and sinker with this agenda. And of course, this kind of culminated in this most recent character they added to Suicide Squad, the lesbian Mrs. Freeze. Now, again, some people were saying transgender, some people were saying lesbian. I don't really care either way. It's water under the bridge at this point because the game is completely non-existent as far as player base goes. There's nobody playing the game. They gave it away for free. They put it on sale multiple times. They couldn't get rid of it. And currently today it has like less than 100 people playing it. If we refresh right now, there are currently, at the time of filming this, 50 people playing it on Steam. Now, obviously this doesn't account for any other system, but let's be honest, there's not very many on any other console either. So now this kind of is a good spot to switch to talking about Concord, another game that's been infected with DEI agenda and had an even more miserable launch than Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Remember, Suicide Squad still had 13,000 concurrent players when it first launched on Steam. Not exactly like the biggest launch ever, but I'd say admirable numbers, decent numbers for any other game. Maybe not for a game that costs $200 million, but still, 13,000 is a decent amount of people. They are trying to claim that Concord may have sold as few as 25,000 copies, when the reality is it's probably far fewer than that. Remember, this game allegedly has only had like 1,200 people on PlayStation get a kill, which means that there's probably not that many more that actually have bought the game. So let's round it up and say 2,000 people actually bought the game on PlayStation. And again, I showed you the 697 concurrent players down to 50 players currently playing it on Steam. That means that there's probably about 3,000 or 4,000 copies purchased between the two. I doubt it's 25,000, but even giving them these numbers, they once again are doing everything they can to deflect from the DEI agenda being pushed into this game having any effect on why it flopped. Again, it's not just that you see a brown person and think DEI or woke. It's when you see a person who's not white and then they intentionally make them hideous and try to add pronouns to make it more appealing to a modern audience that you stop and go, wait a second. If you're going to have brown skin characters or dark skin characters or Asian characters, can you at least make them look decent? Like, I would think it's more racist to take a cast full of brown characters or non-white characters and make every one of them hideous or unappealing to look at. That, to me, screams racist more than anything else. But again, they point to the fact that it once again is a multiplayer game that came out 8 years too late or 4 years too late with a $40 price tag. Not the fact that these characters are absolutely hideous dog water to look at from top to bottom. Baz, of which here is probably one of the scariest looking ones. And we'll get into Baz more in a minute because there's a lot of new information about this character that I cannot believe people weren't talking about before. But remember, this is a game who recently had their tags on Steam listed as LGBT and political, mixed in there with like action and shooter and all that. So now we're seeing new information about this character Baz. And Learning the Law has this screenshot that says, PlayStation's latest agitprop game Concord officially confirms that Baz is transgender. So whoever made this meme of Uncle Ruckus was spot on. And you can see this character card here, and yes, this apparently is a real card, and it says Baz was born into an inheriting generation of the Crescent Moon shipping empire. In the Crescent Moon, leadership is passed down every other generation. Through the male line. Now this is important. It only goes through the male line. Baz's parents had groomed her from birth, pushing her to outshine her cousins and garner the attention of her grandfather, Dom Lunam, leader of the Crescent Moon. Now again, using the word grooming there is very creepy. I don't know why they would say that, but I get it. It's an old expression, so we'll give him that. But his attention was notoriously fickle. He was intentionally unclear about his expectations and seemed to be looking for elusive traits in his heir. The contingent of cousins were left to flounder, frustrated, and confused. One thing is left unquestionable on this character card here. When looking for an heir, he was not looking for a granddaughter, he was looking for a grandson. So now we'll skip down to this line right here, talking about her qualifications. There's no substitute for experience, and in short order, Baz had experience up and down the whole shipping pipeline, from sorting to stamping, from routing to packing, to fuel allocation and bulk delivery efficiencies. She knew her way around a warehouse, a transport ship, and a guild checkpoint. And she knew what the wilds needed. She understood the political landscape. Lots of uses of the word she there. Of all the cousins, she was the one to turn Dom Lunam's head. Now remember, it's very important that he was looking for a male heir. And this is unfortunately for her, a female, right? Oh no. But he turned away after her gender transition. Inheritance passes down through the male line every other generation. That's the way the Crescent Moon has always been, regardless of Baz's talent. Dom Lunam made it clear that the rules would be adhered to, so Baz chose to leave. So Baz chose to live as a female instead of a male, and the grandfather decided, well, I guess you're a girl now, so I can't give you my inheritance. A lot of questions there, but apparently this is just one more disgusting piece of the puzzle with this game, where everything that they could cram in when it comes to the ideology and the political correctness, I should say, or at least, trying to appeal to this modern audience, it's just one thing on top of another, guys. And they want to point to the live service, they want to point to the $40 price tag rather than the hideous characters, the woke agenda, all the LGBTQ crap that's just been crammed in one on top of the other, the lack of any sort of desirable looking characters or any white people for that freaking matter when they're the largest player base of most games. And then they point to it and say, oh no, it's toxic fans and the $40 price tag that ruined this game. But again, I'll leave it right there, guys. Let me know what you think about all this. I couldn't believe when I read this today. I'm like, how did it get worse? Like, I thought Concord had hit like rock bottom. Apparently not. So here we are. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it right there. Let me know what you think about all this, and I will catch you on the next one. All right, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.